So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you step by step through what it is that we take on our backpacking trip. Okay, so let's start with breakfast, which I have organized over here on my counter. Coffee is probably something that everybody loves to have, and these are very, very popular. Lots of people bring these. These are great. They're 90 calories. They're super light, easy to pack. They don't go bad. You just add water. If you're not a coffee person, tea is obviously, you know, something that a lot of other people bring too, and it's really easy to use. So I feel like this one's just kind of a staple that everybody kind of talks about. So we've got a variety of breakfasts here that I'll go through. Obviously, the easiest one to talk about is some kind of breakfast meal from, you know, Mountain House or Backpacker's Pantry or something like that. And we don't typically use a lot of these, but we always bring at least one of the breakfast skillet because, I mean, come on, they're delicious. But because they're bulky and they take up a lot of space, we typically only bring one with us as a middle of the backpacking trip kind of treat. So yeah, so you have, these are obviously a very, very good go-to. The next one that a lot of people will tell you about that you have to bring is oatmeal. The thing with oatmeal is that you really have to add some extra stuff to it in order to just make it more calorie dense. So I have here my homemade oatmeal packet. And so what's in here is we start with one of those flavored packages of instant oatmeal that you get from Quaker or whoever. They typically come in flavors like peaches and cream, apples and cinnamon, cinnamon and spice. And then on top of that, I'll add a third of a cup of just plain regular oatmeal. And then on top of that, I will add a half a cup of granola. And I love the granola because it's more dry and it gives you that crunch at the end. And it's also way more calorie dense than oatmeal is by itself. And then I'll throw in some almonds, and then I throw in some dried raisins or cranberries. And basically it's just a mishmash of whatever flavor of granola we get, whatever flavor of oatmeal. So every package is just a little bit different. So that the oatmeal works out to about 500 calories a meal when it's packaged in that way. So the next thing, we've bought just a can of the eggs and bacon mix from Mountain House. I do recommend if you're going to buy the dehydrated meals, you buy them in the cans. They are a little bit cheaper that way. And then you just measure out how much you want. So this is, I think, a cup, and that will feed both of us. So we'll rehydrate the eggs, and we'll put them either with some Mennonite summer sausage, which is one of our absolute go-tos. It's so versatile. You can eat it, you know, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner if you wanted to. Just mix it with different things. I highly recommend spending the money and getting the really good stuff directly from some kind of natural meat producer. We have a farmer's market here where we have people who do that kind of stuff. And this whole thing cost me $20. We would only bring a third of it on our trip through Killarney, so a third of it would last us about 5 days. This particular trip that we're going on, we actually have three different segments, so I will divide this in thirds and put it in our different food boxes. So eggs, summer sausage, cheese strings actually stay good, or cheese sticks actually stay good for about 4 days in your backpack. So if you're going for longer than 4 days and you still want to bring cheese, bring something like Romano or Asiago or Parmesan, like those really, really hard cheeses, because they will last for much longer than this. And so what I would do is I would buy it pre-grated or grate it myself and then put it into a little Ziploc bag, kind of like what I have our Gatorade powder in. But yeah, so just buy these bags from the dollar store and you fill them with cheese and away you go. So the summer sausage, the cheese strings, the eggs, and then a wrap, right? Just your run-of-the-mill wheat wraps. All of that comes to about 500 calories also. So, and you know, you can mix it up. I have some pre-cooked bacon here, so we can have a bacon wrap instead of a sausage wrap. The idea is to give yourself some choice and some variety, at the same time getting the calories and keeping your weight down. So the next thing that we will have for breakfast is bagels. So these are the thin bagels that you can get. Sometimes you get like Weight Watchers ones, but we actually eat 2 of them because 2 of these is 370 calories, whereas one regular raisin cinnamon bagel is 250 calories. So you're getting more calories even though it takes up the exact same amount of volume. And so what we'll do then is we'll put some peanut butter on it. So 2 bagels with 2 tablespoons of peanut butter is actually 740 calories. The last thing that we would do is you can get bagel buns or some kind of sesame seed bun, or even you can use flatbread if you want to make some kind of sandwich. And we'll put on the pre-cooked bacon that you can get, and we'll put on some cheese, and maybe throw in some dried fruit or something like that into that, and you can make a sandwich out of that. That comes to 450 calories. So there's breakfast. Now, on top of eating the food, the one thing that Jeremy and I have found that's really, really helpful is some kind of protein powder or a green powder or something that's going to give you just a few extra calories, but also give you some nutrients. So for me, I like to use this all-in-one nutritional shake. So 1 scoop with water is 120 calories. And it just gives me all the vitamin and minerals that I would be missing. And I mean, I could take a vitamin, but then I don't actually get any energy out of it either, right? So it just gives me that extra 120 calories. It's just that little bit of extra. Jeremy needs more calories in the morning because he tends to metabolize his food a little bit slower. So we actually take the protein powder, but then add a Carnation Instant Breakfast in. So these Carnation Instant Breakfasts are awesome. They come in 3 different flavors. You just mix them with water. They're 150 calories. You know, so I mean, the more calories you get, the better, but also you're getting the nutrients. Okay, so now we're going to talk about snacks. So we typically have 2 snacks in a day. We'll have a morning snack and an afternoon snack. We always have at least 1 bar a day per person for snacks, and I usually bring 2 extra bars as backups just in case. So there's those. Also, you have many other different options of things that you could bring for snacks. So this is where I have my afternoon snacks organized. They're after the lunches. So I'll go through some of these. So trail mix is obviously a really big go-to. 1/3 of a cup, 270 calories. You really can't go wrong with that. But you're gonna wanna add other things to it or combine it with other things or just mix things up a little bit. So that way you have some variety so you're not getting bored. So other things that you can grab are these Ritz cheese snacks crackers. These are really, really good. These are 200 calories a package. So I might have this and then also have like a dried fruit bar, which is 120 calories. And then all of a sudden I have 300 calories in my snack. Beef jerky is another popular one. It's not really calorie dense, but it does give you that salt and flavor, as well as some protein. But that's a really popular one. These cheese and crackers things, I mean, they're great. They're a little bulky with all the plastic on them. So we only bring 1 per person per trip. But it's just a nice way to mix things up and do something different. And then you can get any kind of pepperette. There's all kinds of different flavors. We happen to get the honey garlic ones because I don't really like spicy stuff. But these are really great. You can eat them as a snack, or throw them in a wrap with some cheese. And away you go. Now you've got lunch, right? So try and find things that you know you can mix up in different ways, and then all of a sudden you're not bored with stuff. So those are all the different kinds of things we bring as snacks. I'm going to kind of backtrack a little bit here, and we are going to talk about lunch. So lunches are the time of day where you sit down and you eat, and you want to take your time eating your lunch. So some of the things that we'll eat for lunch, we like these, well, Jeremy doesn't like them, but I like them. These Spam singles that you can get from like Meijer or Kroger and stuff like that. Chances are if you're watching this video, you're in Canada. You can't get these in Canada, so we make a yearly pilgrimage to Meijer across the border in the States to get a whole bunch of different things. So you can get these. We have flavored tunas here in Canada in the packages like this. but we don't have the flavored chickens, which they also have. So they have different flavors of chicken prepackaged like this, so you don't have to refrigerate it. It's well worth the trip just to go to the regular grocery store over there, just to see what you can find once a year and just stock up on it. So yeah, so I like the Spam singles with, you know, a cheese string on a piece of flatbread. And that usually comes to 570 calories. You'll notice I got little mustard packets in here. The other thing you can get to spice up your lunches or breakfasts are those crispy onion salad toppers. You'll find them in the same aisle as your salad dressings and your croutons. And they're just little fried onions. They don't need to be refrigerated. You throw them on your wrap, you throw them on your sandwich, and away you go. It gives a little crisp, a little bit of flavor. And it really just kind of spices things up a little bit. So that's the Spam. I mean, tuna, Jeremy will throw that in a wrap. He'll probably throw some onions on there, or maybe he'll get wild and crazy and throw some hickory sticks with a cheese string or whatever he feels like that day. And so, you know, there's another 420 to 470 calories depending on the flavor of tuna that you get. And then also, of course, we've got the summer sausage, right? So we throw that on a wrap with some cheese and some onions and some mustard. I mean, it's delicious. You typically, after we eat lunch, we've always got some kind of chip or cheesy or some kind of salty, crunchy goodness to eat after. We're bringing 3 different kinds this time, so I'm not bringing as many as we usually do. So we've got your cheesies, we've got your hickory sticks, and we are bringing corn chips this time also. You can get these at any grocery store or any bulk food store. And then, of course, we'll always have a little bit of candy after, just as a sugar boost. So now let's get into dinners. So what we like to do is we will order the containers that you can get of Mountain House or whatever brand the store that you're looking at carries. So Costco, for example, we bought was like a set. I think it was somewhere between 5 and 10 cans. It was so much money, and you get a couple of each flavor. And so we just then measure it out with a measuring cup into the Ziploc bags. This year we just used what we had left over from last year. We weren't able to buy any extra, but then we went to the surplus store and got bags of dehydrated meals from a bunch of different companies that looked good. We bought an extra of each one so we could try it, make sure it actually tasted good. And then we always take them out of their bags and we put them in Ziplocs. We will bring 1 bag of each as a cook bag and reuse that multiple times. Because the Ziplocs save weight and save bulk. It makes it much easier to pack into our food bag and then consequently to hoist up in the tree at nighttime to keep it away from the animals. So we bring a variety of flavors of this. This is, I think, where most people would do the ramen or the pasta sides, mashed potatoes and stuff like that. And if that's what you feel works for you, or you don't have the money to spend on this kind of stuff, then absolutely go that route. Just make sure that you're consuming all the extra calories that you need, right? So, you know, if a ramen is only 300 calories, make sure you're adding something to that to supplement, to get those extra calories, those extra nutrients. After dinner, we always have a dessert. Rice Krispie Squares are great. They're basically indestructible. They're only 80 calories, but they're super light, you know, and you can get the ones with like M&Ms on them or sprinkles or whatever. Something new we're bringing this year is Fig Newtons. So they're just those little date cookies that you get at the store. So we're bringing those. Last year we brought Oreos, but they tended to get crushed, so we just ended up eating the powder with a spoon, which is not that half bad, you know, but it would be nice if our cookies could stay whole. And then, of course, we always have a hot chocolate at the end of every day. So you can buy the packets like this. I recommend trying to buy in the big boxes you get at Costco if you're able. If not, it's honestly worth the time to save some money. You get the can for $5. You get the bags at the dollar store for $1.25, and you just measure it out 2 tablespoons into the bag on your own. It will definitely save you some money, even if it's a little extra prep time. So that's basically it, guys. This is our food and what we're bringing. This is enough food for 5 days of backpacking.